Hi, this is Kay Cooney, Silver Leader for Young Living. I wanted to just share with you a couple of tips around planning for vendor events that hopefully will be helpful to you. The first thing that I would say when you are doing vendor events is to do your work. Find out about the event, make sure the money is worth what you're putting in and what you're getting out of it. One of the metrics that we're looking to demonstrate right now is that you should have one meaningful contact for every dollar you spend, right? So even if you're going to the local church thing and it's $25, if you didn't come up with 25 contacts during that, say, 4 hour period, was that really worth your time? Right? So it's trying to put metrics around vendor events so that folks know what the best way to grow their business is. That's what we're looking to do. My another tip that I would say is don't try and do this by yourself. Even if you're just starting out, an abundance mindset helps because two brains working the same event will double the number of people that you can talk to. And be confident that there is plenty of opportunity for both of you, and that when putting one plus one together, you're going to get three, not just two. So let me tell you a little bit about what we did. So we're preparing for a big sporting event with 80,000 attendees over a 3-day period. Okay, so pretty substantial event. The vendor fee was $1,000. So again, what we're trying to track with our customer forms is, do we make 1,000 contacts in this? Now, not all your contacts may be at the venue. So we went to social media, we went to Instagram, and we found as many of the teams as we could and folks who would be participating in the day's event. And we hashtagged them. So we reached out to everybody to let them know who we were, where our booth was, that we were excited for them, we wished them well, and we put a few posts out there a few days before the event. We also did a poll asking the attendees to participate in our poll and to continue to come by during the weekend to see us, to see how it's doing. So we came up with a question that where the results would be interesting to them. So that's something that you can do. We also we used a text ed service to put together what we were all about for their specific demographics. So tennis balls for tennis players, stretching exercises for wrestlers, right? Whatever it is that you're doing, what your product is, where you're going. So we put together a small 3-slide with a little video and some questions in it, basically educating them about our product, knowing that people don't want to spend a lot of time at a vendor booth when they're at a athletic event. They want to be competing. They want to be having their downtime and resting. They want to be brainstorming. But yet the little bit of the girl in all of us can't keep away from the vendor booths, right? So we wanted to make it as enticing as possible. So we use social media. In this case, we didn't find Facebook as easy to do because of the number of teams involved. So we went with Instagram. Next thing we did was we put together a contact sheet. Really, really simple. Let me just show you. Get the person's name and what's the best way to contact them, and permission, right? So when you're at an event like this and you ask for permission to contact this person after the fact, it's a wonderful thing, right? So you're not following up on a cold lead. You're following up on a warm lead. The other part of the form that I do have flipped over is you detailing what your conversation was, right? So the goal is that you reach a couple hundred people during these events, and then you have permission to reach out to them. But what happens is even the best of us can't possibly remember all the details that we had with folks. So you're sitting, you're listening, you're taking a few notes for yourself, and when you go the next time when you reach out, email, text, however you decided to reach out, it's, hey, Betty Lou, how are you doing? How's your son's arm? Right? So that you can have something personal, so you're working towards building rapport and having a long-standing customer, not a quick hit. One of the things that we provided with our teammates that are participating in this event, and what we're doing is we're using the event to take veterans who are showing newbies how to do this, right? So we're using it as a training ground for ourselves. But at the same time, all of us involved are building our business, right? Win-win. It's a great way to do it. So, and we split the cost that way. So basically what you want to do is work amongst your team to put something like this together, right? So you can't pull this off with one. I don't even know that I could pull this off with two. This is an event that I needed several. So anyhow, so you contact these people, you capture your contacts, you have permission to reach out to them, and you're setting your metrics for your event. So if your metrics is simply sales and you're in a direct sales position, that's great. But if you're in a multi-level marketing and your success depends upon you building a team, your metric should involve how many sales, how many new potential builders you spoke with, as well as how many live, warm contacts you got. All of them are incredibly valuable in determining, was this event worth your while? Okay, so our project broadcast, that's one of the tools we use for text education. And in that was where we sent the information about, and the video and the things introducing us, and then introducing them to come back to the booth and talk to us. How are we using that? We put it on social media so that they're getting it beforehand, right? So we're making the assumption that they're going to be busy during the event, but could we provide enough info to tempt them to come see us, right? So that was our first thought with doing that. The second thought in doing that was very simply, when they come up to the booth, knowing that people are rush, right? And I'm very respectful of people's time. I hate when I feel trapped by a salesperson, right? So what we want to be able to do is just say, here, text this word to this number and it will send you a video. If you get a chance in the next few days to look at it, let us know. Come back and see us. We'd love to talk to you about it. We think you're going to love it. This will be something great to fill time. So the moms that are sitting on the sideline of these events, or the kids in between the events, the movie would be appropriate for either or, and it's short and sweet and to the point, right? So that was another strategy that we used. Where you're standing in your booth, right? Get out front. Do not expect people to come to you. And on the other hand, don't be a hawker, right? Don't be in the middle of the aisle there blocking people and trying to grab people. Standing at the end of your table out in front, well dressed, right? Not like you're going to prom, but well dressed and clean, put together, and ready to go. You know, people want to do business. You're a business there. Some of the other things, don't have your food and don't have your drink in front of you, right? One, you're going to spill it everywhere. And two, it looks messy to people, right? This is your office you're asking people to come into for the next few days when you're doing a vendor event. Make that office look neat and clean. What else do? We designed a special for the event, right? Particular and specific to the event. So for us, it's an athletic event. So it's adding specials around events to support athletic performance, right? So buy this, get this at a reduced rate or free. We also altered our handouts. So our handouts are pretty standard, but they are easy enough changed over to support the venue that we're going to be in. So let's say you're going to an event that's all craft ladies, right? You know, your product, shampoos for craft ladies, right? Shampoos for athletes, shampoos for dogs, shampoos for families, right? Altering it just a little each time. So we took the time, we did that. And then one of the things that we do, and we do really well, is we do the question, the vendor event question. So we come up with a question that is relevant. And again, we had mentioned this, that we put this on Instagram already and we're trying to collect the data. But we laminate the question, or you can put it on a board or a piece of paper at your vendor table. It's a question that would interest the attendees, but also be helpful in putting some demographic information for you for the next event, right? So tell me about the one thing you most struggle with in the morning in your household routine. Tell me about how much coffee you drink a day, right? Whatever is relevant to you and your product, put the question out there and track it. And that's a great way to open up the conversation, right? And you don't want a yes or a no. As much as possible, you want an open-ended question, because you want that to be your lead to having a conversation. So let me give you an example. So, hi, hey, can I ask a huge favor? Would you mind answering a really quick, simple question for us? We're taking a survey for this weekend. We're going to post the results on Instagram. We think that this will be really useful to players, moms, and coaches. What do you think? They go, yes, right? I go, okay, so here's my question. Tell me what you think. What's your answer? Now we're not giving them the answer. We're looking for them to give us the answer. So we're going to ask a question about lifestyle that they're going to answer for us, okay? Now let's say what their answer is, geez, I wish my kids would eat more fruits and vegetables, okay? So right there and then, now I know that they have children, and my question is, so tell me about that. Right? So I got my question answered. I'm going to write that down. But tell me about that. Tell me about that challenge. What's that look like for you? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Have you ever tried hiding broccoli and, in muffins? And, now you're having a conversation based on what they told you. You're not jumping all over them about your product. And as you continue this conversation and you're honest and open and authentic, and you're giving them the opportunity to talk and present themselves to you, a natural opening will occur where they either ask you, so what do you got going on over here? What are you doing over here? What's your product? What's your gig, right? Because eventually people know you're not just standing there like on a street corner, right? They know you're a vendor. So either they ask you or you say to them, could I tell you, I got a feeling that we have something that could actually make your life a whole lot easier and take care of some of your challenges. Would you be interested in hearing about it? If not, I understand. You're here to see your kids compete this weekend, right? No slimy, no creepy, no whatever. You just ask the question nicely. You ask permission. Then when they give permission, you don't throw up all over them. You just kind of give them like a 2-3 minute spiel and say, what questions can I answer for you? Put it back on them. One of the things that we're missing in our society is listeners. So if you can become the ultimate listener, you can very quickly build rapport with people. So that would be my strategy and my advice to you. If you can do this with the team, right, and use this with either crossline. So we're doing a mix of upline, downline, crossline on this. We really do believe in abundance in that when we work together, there's plenty of cake for everybody, and especially in a forum where there's 80,000 people gathered. If we can't all get our needs met at that point, then it's not the crowd, it's us. So how have we divided up, and what would be our lessons learned for the next time round, okay? One would be assign someone or two to the display and let them run with it. Having too many cooks in the broth is very, very hard. And you can assume that each of us that are doing this event has our own display that we use at our own vendor events, right? So there's lots of opinions on how to do this. Pick the one who does it well and does it best and go, okay, run with it. Tell us how we support you, right? That's one great way to use somebody. And we're dividing the load.